whatever. They just think it's not whatever term or usage they use or whatever. You know what I mean? They just think it's not the way to go, right?
Yeah.
So, her being that outer influence, she was kind of making fun of the fact that I was listening to this lady. But you know what? I'm going to do it again.
All right.
Because I think it changed. When am I going to do it? Next time, probably tomorrow morning if I wake up with enough time.
Wake up.
Because I always got to shove off to work or get the kids ready in the morning, whatever. But this is the whole ritual I'm trying to change. I'm trying to change all that. You know what I mean? I'm trying to change myself. I'm trying to be better. I'm trying to...
Well, that is the object of the podcast. Better versions of ourselves.
Exactly. And I'm spewing all this to you because
I'm
changing right I'm changing right in front of the eyes of people who see me every day. And I'm now speaking all these new affirmations and all these new terms I'm learning and all this stuff. And people are going to look at me as I'm weird, right?
Most
probably
people
going to look at me like I'm weird, right?
Welcome to my world.
But I honestly feel like something's going on here.
Well,
like I'm
good.
changing.
That's a good thing. It's hard to when we start feeling like there's changes, as DJ's talking about. The people that usually around us the most, that's where we receive the most criticism from. They laugh, they chuckle, ha ha. They try to make jokes. What they say, what is it? It's like get a jab in there, whatnot.
Yeah.
Just to like bring you down, you got to just
enough.
filter them out.
You
filter it all out.
Or you just look at it for what it was. It was a joke. And then just remain.
They'll laugh. When they say something, just laugh at them. That's what I do. I just give the hearty laugh and they just look at me because it was not the reaction
you
they
in
were
your
wishing.
head know what you're trying to achieve.
Oh, yes.
So you just stay diligent in that and keep on your path. And don't let these outside interferences change your rituals, basically.
Yes.
So we said that these these rituals, they don't have to be huge events. They don't have to be holidays. They can be small everyday routines. They can be used along your journey for bettering oneself. Such routines is working out, eating healthy. Some rituals are designed to attract. Some are designed to release. Some are designed to acknowledge or celebrate, like we were speaking about earlier. When people create these rituals, there can be a lot of inspiration to fuel these divisive plans, right?
Okay.
Mythology, astronomy, past cultural ways, traditions, history, and like I said, hearsay from role models or people that you are looking to emulate.
Yeah.
So I'm looking to emulate Matthew McConaughey's success. You
Okay.
know what I mean? I'm 100% sure that guy is successful in my mind. He's happy, which is what we underline.
Yeah, okay.
You know what I mean? He'll tell you, I made all these millions. I don't really care about the millions. We're talking about a guy that trekked the whole world. He's gone to the Amazon. He's gone to Africa. He's done all these like individual travel rituals.
Okay.
That he's learned, and he's brought them back home with him and implemented them into his own life, and it's gotten him more and more success as he's gone along. So, just remember that any of these can inspire a ritual, a new beginning. You look to what makes you happy. Look at the rituals that you find, effective, or that you might feel like you can dive right in and keep going. So,
and as you do these rituals every day, every other day, whatnot, pretty soon you start to see the effects that they have. Okay, and that they become soon. You keep, it's just this ritual I do, this ritual I do. But then if you look at the bigger picture, it becomes a habit, a lifestyle. It changes from just this little ritual, as what we say when we're starting off, to this is my lifestyle. I wake up, maybe do a little meditation, I work out, anchor myself in for the day. What do I have to do?
Yeah.
So ultimately, in doing that, you start off here, I'm this. And then I do this. All right, now I'm working out and I'm meditating. So I'm calm, I'm feeling good, I'm healthy. It becomes a lifestyle. It's not just something to do for the weekend.
Yeah. A ritual is something that you
Yeah.
turn to, and you're gonna do it over and over and over and over again until you succeed at what you're trying to reach. So this whole meditation thing, I'll be the first one to tell you, since juggling all these jobs, having kids, the frustration of never being able to do nothing within the pandemic and things like that,
Yes.
I have become this, angry individual from time to time, where I don't mean to be, I don't want to be. It's the last thing I want to be is angry. You know what I mean? It's never how I was. I was never an angry individual. So I'm starting to dial that back. I'm starting to use this meditation.
Okay.
I'm starting to use maybe better sleeping habits. Maybe I do need better sleeping habits, which is the most difficult thing, because
Sleep.
at night is when I come alive. My creativity comes alive at night.
I go to bed at 1:30, 2 o'clock every night.
And I'm telling you, like, I'm juggling things from music to, and then I got to enjoy myself. Video games and movies and TV shows or wrestling or whatever I'm into, which are the things that we say that we need to remain the rituals that we need to do to remain who we truly know we are.
Yeah, what makes us happy, and we know that's we feel like ourselves.
Yeah, because once you tap yourself out of happiness and you're not remaining the course of who you are, like myself, I'm not remaining the course of who I am with these
not staying true to
anger
yourself.
outbursts. I'm like, whoa. I think I've even told Andrea, like, I don't like this person that I've becoming. Like, this is not what I want to work for. This is not why I work all these jobs and to come home to give you guys my anger, you know what I mean, to let it out because the kids aren't listening or blah, blah, blah. So I've been slowly, like, dialing that back. I catch myself right before I go off the deep end, and I'm like, I use those meditation things that I've been learning, like, breathe, you know what I mean?
Husa!
Just not every action needs a reaction.
Yes, that's why they made duct tape.
Yeah.
1,001 uses. Taping your kid to the wall.
So,
Works
so we
wonders.
said, so what are some of these rituals? We did the whole wake up thing. Make your
wake
bed,
up.
Have your coffee.
Well, the simplest things. Like you said, you could even be. Let's see, not last month. So within the last 6 to 8 months, like as you know, because he comes alive at night, I might have what they say in a little bit of insomnia.
Yeah.
Especially if I happen to close my eyes for 15 minutes after 3 o'clock in the afternoon.
Yeah.
It energized. We're talking full energized battery. It's no good. I'm going to be up until 4 or 5. Binaural Beats.
Binaural Beats.
I listen to them on YouTube. It's so I can fall asleep.
Gotcha. Yeah. So when we had the baby, we were doing the sounds that emulate when they're in the womb.
Okay.
And
like the heartbeat in the liquid. Yeah.
And the waves and the rain and stuff like that. Yeah.
Normally, I used to use a fan because my mind becomes so alive. I need one thing to focus on.
Yeah.
And that's I know the binaural beats, people are thinking, well, if there's beats, I've heard those before. Music, it's got all these different sounds. Yes, but it's mostly, you'll hear like one sound in the front, you would know.
Yeah.
And then you hear these other sounds that kind of like emphasize it. So your body's hearing this, and all you're hearing, if you sit and think about it, at least to me, I hear that one sound.
I think I've heard them before. I
hear that one sound because then I started like, all right, wait a minute.
I think I know exactly.
Let me
what
try
you're
the
talking
drums because I love drums. I can sit there and listen to drums, bongos, and I don't know. I find a different one every day because my mind adapts to it.
Yeah,
and then it doesn't work.
Yeah, it doesn't work anymore.
Let me tell you, that's a whole nother episode about adapting to things, like working out. Some people adapt quicker to a workout. They have to change it because you plateau, and that sucks.
Yeah.
I suffer from that. I can, according to the trainers, I plateau after about maybe a month of doing the same thing, and I got to change my. Sometimes it's bad. It's after like 3 weeks. There's nothing. It's like I'm nothing. There's nothing changing.
That's the point to where your average person that is like, okay, I'm gonna go work out. And then they get to that plateau, and that's usually when they're like, all right, this isn't working. I'm going to stop now. They started the ritual, but the intent to actually follow through was never there. So it's a ritual that I stay up late at night, right? This is my thing, right?
Okay.
So my viewing of this, of why I do this, is because I have that hard time of falling asleep at night. All these things are on my mind. What's tomorrow? Tomorrow's success. How's this going to work? How's that going to work? Oh, I got estimates to go. Oh, I got to run over here and do this job. I got to call up my DJ clients, all the stuff I'm juggling in my brain before I go to bed. So the way I think of it is, hey, if I stay up to the point where I can't even keep my eyes open on the freaking couch anymore, that's when I'm going to go to bed because I'm so exhausted, I'm going to fall asleep.
So do you force yourself to sleep sometimes? You feel that?
No. So I'll get to the point. I'll get to the point where, all right, I'm done with the video games. All right, I'm done with the music. I need some silence.
Okay.
I'll sit on the couch, throw on my, I don't watch much TV these days, but I'll throw on an old movie or maybe my wrestling DVRs and things like that, and I'll just zone out. I'll go to sleep. I need something to focus on to put me to sleep.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that happens. I get up, I go into the bed. I'm like, yeah, I'm about to go to sleep, right? Nope. Sitting there laying up at the ceiling because that little bit of energy that I mustered up to go from the couch to the bed gave me enough energy to start thinking again. And there was nothing to focus on in the bedroom because we have a TV in the bedroom, but we don't watch it because I don't like to wake up the kids. And,
yeah. I'm telling you, plug your phone in, put it on YouTube, darken your whole screen.
I've done that a few times before.
That's how I have to fall
those exact ones that you were talking about, but...
oh, no, yeah. I found those. I only looked at those because they... most of the binaural beats, what did it say? That you fall asleep the fastest with these. And normally, if I can go to sleep, I'm outside of 10, 15 minutes.
Yeah.
But for some reason, I need 10 minutes. I need to be asleep in 10 minutes because if I don't, my brain's going to start thinking and talking again. And that's not good because I watch shows. Honestly, I do Hawaii Five-0 and I do... The old shows. No, the new one.
Oh, the new one.
The new Hawaii Five-0, the new MacGyver, Scorpions. I like to watch things where I would say it so overly stimulates my brain that I can focus on that one thing, that show. It cuts everything else out. Yeah. Because I normally, on a day-to-day basis, I'm thinking like about 10 things at once.
Yeah.
And that's why I can't sleep.
There's this thing they say, get off of all forms of technology, TV, phone, all that, about a half hour before you go to sleep. Because
I've read that, yes.
And I actually read it today that a study found that your phone's light tricks your brain into thinking it's time to wake up. It's morning time because of the light that your phone projects.
And you don't get
it's not like
it doesn't allow you to get to REM sleep or whatnot. Yeah.
It doesn't let you get into that deep sleep. What is it called? A REM sleep?
The REM sleep. Yep.
That's usually my 5 o'clock to 6 o'clock. I get that 1 hour of that deep sleep. And I'll be on just the verge of dreaming because I was so exhausted from the night before. I don't dream most of the time. I find it when I go to bed early. I dream all the time. Okay. But since I get so exhausted to this point where like I tap out, I'm like, all right, it's time to go to bed, man. Like you gotta go bust your ass tomorrow. Get your ass to bed. What are you thinking? You know what I mean?
Me, I take because with all the light pollution and everything, as much light as there is in the not that we're a huge city, but we're big enough. I take a t-shirt, black t-shirt, I put it over my eyes. Flip my hood up so it keeps it there, and I just sleep on my back because I'm not one for really moving. Yeah. If I do move, it's usually at least after 5 hours, so I've gotten the sleep that I need, and then I can do it. But I cover my eyes. The phone goes on the back so you can't see any light. It goes underneath something. Yeah. And because I can't, I have to. It's so dark. It has to be so dark so I can sleep because of a little bit of light. I'm like this, and then if I start thinking of anything, there's light. I'm hungry. You don't think about food, or I'm up and I'm like, all right, what can I do?
Yeah, it's not good to eat at night. They say not good for
your system. So many people have been told to me that for years now.
Shocks your system. So we all agree that starting your day with positive rituals, will fuel the rest of your day into positivity and so we don't want these negative vibes throughout our day.
We do not.
And right. I know we even spoke about it already, but right next to my notes was getting a good night's sleep is extremely important. Just as important as it is to work hard. It's important to rest. And this is my hardest.
Resting? Yeah. Taking time for yourself. Yeah.
Physically, I'm rested. Like I close my eyes, even if I'm not sleeping, my mind's still moving. I'm good with that because my body's rested up. It's ready for the next day. my mind doesn't shut off, dude. Like even I told you, like it doesn't shut off. So even when I'm tired, I don't feel tired because my mind's just keeping me going.
I want to tell you again, the shows. Case in point, Hawaii, the new Hawaii Five-0. It's got James Caan, the son, and Alex O'Loughlin. The chemistry, I love this chemistry between these two characters, and just the way the show plays. It kills me. I'm dying, and it quiets everything out.
Yeah.
Scorpions is about like the Brainiacs, the Walter O'Brien. It's based on Walter. He's got the fourth highest IQ, 197 ever recorded. I know there was an Indian lady. She had 200 though, back in 2000. But I watch these things where it's so much stimulation, it quiets everything out. It allows me to focus, and then during that time for like an hour,
I'm like that in general.
The body can calm down. My brain can somewhat get into where it slows down, and then the sleep can be like, all right, good. He's not energized.
So Andrea hates it because I can tune out everything. If I'm focused on one thing, like baby could be crying, she could be asking me questions, dogs need to go out, whatever. If I'm focused on something, if I'm in my phone, especially like I'm reading or writing something.
Oh, that's not good.
It's not good, but I am focused. It's the way I look at it.
Hyper-focused.
It doesn't mean that I can't focus on the kids and stuff like that, and it doesn't mean I don't want to. It's just my mindset is like, okay, this is what you're doing. You're gonna focus 100% on this. Then you can go and focus on the next thing. Or
no, they got to think it's called hyper focus.
I believe
it's real. I forgot. And I only saw it because I was watching a show, and they were talking about it. They were so hyper focused on it that they just black everything else out.
Yeah.
And I read up. I don't exactly remember the article too much, but it can be very bad because like there could be a fire, and that split seconds.
Well, it's not that bad to the point where if like there's a fire.
Oh well, that's.
I'm aware of my surroundings. I'm aware that there's people talking to me.
Okay.
But they sound like the Charlie Brown teacher, wah 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 wah, and
that happens a lot to me when I'm not focused.
It's not intended to like ignore that person or shut that person out. Okay. It's how I'm hardwired. Like when I'm focused on something, there's times where like if I'm playing a video game and the kids are screaming or whatever, obviously I'm doing that recreational, so I might not be as focused. But when I'm writing or I'm reading or I'm doing something where my brain is involved, I tend to just shut out the rest of the room. It's not on purpose.
I will tell because ever since I was younger, when I first became a father, I lost not the ability to focus, but whenever the kids would come into view or they would say something, I would stop doing whatever I was doing because that was all my focus went there.
Yeah.
So I'll tell the kids now, or I'll tell Shaz, don't look, I want to do this. Don't, you don't want to, no, it's not that I don't want to talk, but I can't do this because all my focus is going to be what's important. I can always do another class. I can always rewatch this movie because it's on Netflix, or I can always play the game whenever. But and this right here, this is what's important. So exactly. I would like to do this. That's why I make fun. I was telling Andrew tonight. Around 8:30 at night, I'll get questions. Dad, no.
Oh, you were telling me this a little while ago.
Dad's on vacation. Yeah. But if you leave your name and what you want after the beep, tomorrow at about 6:30, Dad will answer you. Beep. Oh, you've reached a full voicemail. So sorry. Talk to you tomorrow. I tell him, not every night, but like a few nights a week, sorry, Dad's on vacation. Unless it's really important, we're going to sit down. We're going to watch a show so I can just vegetate and become stupid.
Yeah, that's the doing you part of the day. There has to be, so at the end of every night, kids are sleeping, Andrew's sleeping. All right, now it's time to go. This is the way my brain thinks.
Okay.
So now it's time to tackle that DJ set list. It's time to go play a whole freaking season of Madden. It's time to go brush up on those episodes of TV that I haven't watched in a long time. And that's important. It's a ritual that's just as important as working hard and resting. So we digress a little bit, and so you got your rituals in the morning.
Yep.
And you got your rituals during the day are basically kind of contorted because we have to live.
If you work during the day,
if
if
you
you have a
work.
day job or night job, yeah, you have
But
to work
there
around there.
are rituals that you can use to combat these time-consuming, whether it's a job or whatever you got to do during. You got to wake up and do your responsibility for the day, right?
Yeah.
So at nighttime, before you do all that stuff, all that shit that you want to do, Madden and all that stuff, I started doing little things like putting my cup of coffee next to the machine in the morning with the fresh
Getting it ready for the next day.
K-cup.
Yeah.
Get my clothes out, get them all laid out, so I'm not just staring into an abyss of a freaking closet looking like, oh, what am I gonna wear today? Or so preparation for a ritual is a ritual in its own.
Okay.
I think preparation above all is probably one of the most important rituals us as humans can do. It's just practice. I mean, when you do something, they say when you do something enough, you become that. So as far as DJing goes, I practice. I became at least a good enough DJ. I'm humble in my, in my talents.
I kind of like losing myself in the closet.
Sometimes.
I look in there and
but do you do that every day? So
Oh, no, not that I lose myself. I look in the closet and I go, all right.
So everybody does
Who do
this
I
stuff.
want to be today?
Yeah.
Do I want to be
That's how I am with
do I
my
want to be
my
hoodie
t-shirts.
guy?
That's why I am with the t-shirts and the podcast.
Do I want to be
Go back and watch every episode. I got a different t-shirt on, and I'm going to continue that fad.
Indiana Jones,
Right now I got my Bob Marley on.
That's Bob Marley?
Yeah, it's Bob Marley, and we got the lion on the other side.
Okay. I was going to say, because it almost looked like an Indian dude.
No, it's
or
Bob
Native
Marley.
American, sorry.
It's the side of Bob Marley.
There you go.
Yeah, so...
he said a quote. I was reading it at school the other day, and don't ask me to remember because I don't know what the quote was. But I didn't know Bob Marley used quotes. It was a positive
So there's reasons why I like all these icons throughout history, like Bruce Lee's, the Muhammad Ali's that you see behind us. We got Marley. There's a ton of them.
Yeah, I didn't know.
I can just keep going and going and going. Ray Lewis. I mean, there's all these. He's a linebacker for the Ravens. They all have this philosophical side to them. As much as I knew about Bruce Lee, I thought when I was young, I didn't know shit about him until I started listening to his daughter's podcast.
Okay.
His daughter's that's one to go check out if you haven't heard it. It's I think it's just Bruce Lee podcast. And,
Shannon Lee. Yeah.
Shannon Lee. She breaks down the philosophical side of Bruce Lee. Everybody knows how fast he can punch and kick and how many guys he can take out. She breaks down all his philosophical beliefs, and it's an awesome podcast.
Yeah.
So get yourself into that.
It's good stuff.
Yeah. So on to the next portion of the day, which was that meat and potatoes of the day.
Okay.
That part of the day that... So you got that meat and potatoes part of the day, right?
Yes.
That bulk of the day where you're most... they say you're most... you get most done in the morning.
Most productive, yeah.
But I feel like you take...
Morning?
Yeah, I believe it's the morning.
I never really looked.
And don't quote me on that.
Okay.
But I'm pretty sure that they say, you're a sponge in the morning, basically, for progression.
All right.
Because you got the most energy,
Isn't that like when stocks opens from 8 or 9 o'clock when the stock market opens?
That's probably why there's that.
Yeah, because Steve Harvey did a thing where he said you cannot wake up at 11 o'clock because they are 11 o'clock because they already been up
and
for 2 or 3 hours on the stock market deciding your life.
Yeah.
You got to wake up earlier than that,
So, what are some of the things that you can do to take away the fact that you have to face responsibility and go to work or do, whatever your responsibility is, take care of the kids, whatever sidetracks you from actually obtaining your goals at a quicker rate because it's life, life throws things at you.
I would say you stop whatever you're doing, take your, or I know people that, there's been a long thing with smokers, they get more breaks than regular people.
Yeah.
So you just take a break.
That's why I poop on the company
Step
dime.
back. Oh, I don't do that because I'll be in there for me. I used to kill me. How the hell can you sit here for 45 minutes taking a dump? I'm as in and out in like 5 minutes.
I forgot the exact math of it. They said if you work 40 hours a week, you take 2 10-minute breaks a day, you get paid so much for pooping so much on that.
I sit there now.
I'd have to look it up, but
I understand it now. I sit and I'll read or I'll play mind games that like with puzzles where I got to figure things out. And then I get up, I start feeling tingling, like my ass falls asleep. I'm like, oh, Jesus. It's time to get off the toilet. What the hell?
So,
again,
we're going to digress a little bit.
Yeah, sorry. Hey, what do they call it? It was a movie with Chris O'Donnell where he goes, I know we come to this part of the relationship where you got to shit or get off the pot.
Get off the pot. Well, it's time to get off the pot.
But you take a step back. Whatever you're doing, even if you're a stay-at-home mom, let me tell you, sometimes people think, oh, you don't do anything but clean and watch the kids. I'll agree. The kids part, maybe it's because of my mentality that when I've stayed,
I disrupts your whole day.
It does, but you gotta. I play with the kids. See,
I play with them too, but
there's no disruption there.
It's still. I mean, that's part of happiness and success.
That's true. Maybe I just love
living
kids.
in these moments, which is awesome. Yeah. Don't get me wrong with that because I love spending time with my kids. But there's also that time where you need to go and get that goal. We're on this journey.
Most definitely.
For them to live off of your success, we need to get up and get out and do.
You know what you can do to make it fun though? Whatever you can play, whatever you want to do, you involve your kids into it. You turn it.
Yeah, absolutely.
You turn it into
you teach them.
But see, people don't think that, I can't do this because my fucking kids won't listen. They won't sit. No. What do you want to do? Okay. How can I turn this into a game that my kids will enjoy?
So my son, he's a big YouTube watcher and all that.
Okay, yeah.
He sees that we're doing the podcast and he wants in, man. I'm like, well, this one's a little bit too far-fetched for you, but we can work on your own.
Yeah.
Do it. I says, come up with a plan, come up with an idea, and we'll do it. If you need help, come and ask me. I'm learning as I go. So I mean, they're learning from us as we go.
Yes.
So if we can implement these rituals into our kids without
start them young.
Start them young with these rituals. A lot of the rituals that we're trying to get away from were implemented into us at a young age, and that's why they're so hard to get over.
Yeah, but we don't. It's so hard for like our age group because we were just taught work.
Yeah.
Work, and then you wait till you're older to enjoy life. Now we're figuring out, some of us, screw all that.
I think that's the best part of this generation is that there are a lot of people starting to figure out that's not the way of life.
Yeah.
I mean, that
not anymore because
how many
things
times
have
do you
changed.
Scroll through Facebook and you see that thing? You work for 62 years, you enjoy 11 or 12 of it.
Yeah, no.
For what?
No. Well, that's why the little one.
So some of these things that I think that have helped me, some of the changes I've made and made new rituals is in the morning, that time when you wake up when no one's awake, you send out your emails. All the little things during the course of the day that stop you from, staying focused. You send out the texts that you might have to send out. All those little things, you know what I mean?
Do them ahead of time.
Chores. Like this morning, I did some stuff for Andrea. I had a little extra time. I thought it'd make her day easier. She was tired, so... food prep for dinners and stuff like that. You try and get that stuff out of the way.
Do it the
less
next
complicate your day.
You don't
remain focused.
You don't need 12 hours of sleep.
No, you
okay?
don't. No.
Stop being so lazy.
I am living proof of that.
That's
I probably
a third of your life.
I average probably about 4 hours of sleep a night.
Yeah.
The other night I got 10 hours of sleep. I was like, holy crap! I
don't know what to do with yourself when you woke up.
No, I was completely revitalized. But then the next day I stay up even later because
you had so much energy.
Yeah. So just getting all these little tasks out of the way to remain focused on the ultimate goal of the day is a great ritual. We need to eradicate the idea thinking that we need to accomplish 100 things a day to progress, to grow. That's not true.
No.
So what I kind of started doing was making a priority list. Okay. DJing and painting is up on top. Nothing is, higher than my kids and home life. That's at the absolute top.
Yes.
That's where a lot of my energy goes. But, next in line is business, DJing, which is my passion, along with another livelihood job.
Okay.
The more you you allocate the time to focus on one of these things a day, maybe. Like, okay, instead of doing painting and DJing emails today, maybe I'll just work on the painting emails, get them all out of the way. The feeling of that self-accomplishment, it bears, joy at the end of the night. You feel like a little self-relief.
Yeah.
There's going to be less on your mind when it's time to put your head on the pillow, and less anxieties to overcome. So just get that out of your head that because you think you're multitasking and doing 1,000 things a day, you're actually adding to the stress of your life.
Yes.
We have, a significant amount of time within a week, so.
Don't even worry about the week. Just each day. Break it down to each day. 24 hours.
Yeah. So, again, reflect on your days and account for the quality, not the quantity. So the quality in which you do your work or you attack your goals, the quality that you put forth. So in painting, you need high quality to get more business, right? So we focused on the quality of it. And the more and more we focused on the quality, the better we got, the faster we got, the more efficient we got. Now these people are like, holy crap, you're in and out of our house. You painted our whole house. You saved our lives. We were going to paint for 2 months. I say this probably every episode, but that's life, man.
I look at it. Do 3 things. Three goals every day. Okay? Make your bed, wash the dishes, see your kids smile, and focus on your, grow your passion.
Those are the smaller.
There you go.
They're the larger things, but they're the smaller actual things.
Yeah, it's so easy.
Yeah.
Oh, I washed my hands after I
this household, doing dishes, though, it's more of a...
Don't get me started.
All right, so in retrospect, you're decluttering your day by not slapping 1,000 things on the plate like this all needs to get done. So when I walk in my house at the end of a work day, Andrea goes, why do you always clean up all the baby's toys as soon as you get home? She's just going to make a mess anyway. Why do you keep doing that? I says, you know why? Because I'm starting to realize that when there's clutter around the house and I'm stepping on Legos and I'm kicking stuff and dogs are in the way and all this stuff, my anger starts to rise. That impatient and that part I told you where I was starting to get a little angry, it starts to come to the forefront of everything. So I'm just like, I noticed when I declutter when I get home, I'm a little bit more on the positive, cleaner attitude side of things.
That, and when you're sitting there, it's one less thing that you have to think about.
Yeah,
or you don't take, if there's something you have to work on in here, you can work on it because this is gone.
Yeah, I don't know about you, but when I see a mess, it drives me nuts. It gives me almost an anxiety, and some of the most successful people, your Tony Robbins and all this, they have segments where they speak about decluttering your life.
Yeah.
I forgot who this gentleman was. He picked up and moved to Hawaii at the age of 63. Okay. He said the best years of his life were from 63 to 73 when he didn't have all these materialistic things around him. He was just going out to the beach. He was doing this. He was doing that. He decluttered his life. So
live simplistically.
Yeah, simplistically, and you have a clear thought, clear conscience, and your rituals may come a little bit more
little things done. Like I make sure that, I try to, not 100%, but I try, I'll make sure the dishes are clean so that after dinner, I give myself about 45 minutes. I might watch a show, but 45 minutes, digest a little bit. I'll go do the dishes so I can sit down because I don't want to get engrossed into something. Yeah. And then you go up to get us something to drink and you're just like, motherfuck.
So, we talked about what you do in the beginning of the day.
Yep.
We talked about the meat and the potatoes.
Now we go for the finale.
What do you do at the end of the day? Well, we kind of touched on this.
A little bit.
I told you I started new rituals of prepping myself for the next day. Writing, as I get older, writing things down is starting to make more sense to me. I thought it was just something old people do because they have amnesia. No. It's a checklist, essentially.
Yeah.
And if you don't have that checklist in front of you, sometimes you forget about those things to do. Or sometimes you forget about what your actual train of thought or the ritual that you were, you were dragging out was intended to do. Yeah. If you start writing these things down, I'm starting to write things down, as you can see. Every time we sit down for a podcast, I got 20 more pages than the last one. But I'm simplifying it now. It's not just all jargon. I'm simplifying it, and it's allowing me to run down this checklist to make sure all the points are covered on our podcast. and I feel like it's getting better and better, if you ask me.
The podcast, or are you writing things down?
No, both.
Okay.
I mean, both are exact.
We're picking up.
It's a reflection of
steam.
the rituals that we're
most definitely.
Out.
Yeah, no, this is it's good. You know, some people are saying, "Oh, just that." You know what? We're getting more and more listeners every day.
Yeah.
More and more likes, subscribers, whatnot.
We've reached the Philippines. We have
yes.
listeners in the Philippines.
We are international.
We have listeners in Canada. So shout out to you guys.
Yes, thank you.
You guys are
the
VIPs.
Yes.
Our demographics have they've gone either way. We've gone a little younger. We've got to the 28-34 demographic. And we've also reached some folks up in the 60 plus.
And I think you said we picked up a few extra women now. Have listened.
Yeah.
Okay.
The percentage was predominantly male. It's about 12% women listening. So
that's cool.
You guys continue to listen. Hey, if you hit our Facebook page, that's probably the best spot.
Yes.
That we're gonna get feedback. Go ahead, go like Forge on podcast or Forge Podcast on Facebook. If you
YouTube.
If you have a problem finding that, just click this link below the YouTube and comment on there, and we could give you all the links and whatnot for that. Yep. As usual, you can find us on Spotify, Apple Podcast, Anchor, all the above.
And the email, chooseyourdestiny2.0@gmail.com. We would love feedback. And I do believe we're going to work this out. DJ and I have smashed our heads together about this, and next episode we're
leaning towards finally getting our first interview
or live. We would like to go
or both.
Yes, so, but because we want you.
We're gonna iron out the details. We're gonna work diligently this week to try and figure out all the little. We're gonna make it a ritual.
We're gonna digitally.
We're gonna make it a ritual to get this thing going.
We're gonna sacrifice some goats.
Before we do the quote of the day and our other segments, our newly added segments, I just wanted to kind of briefly touch down on this ritual that I found listening through other podcasts.
Okay.
I forgot the name of the lady, and I apologize. I meant to plug her.
Shameful.
But it's called Recipes for Rituals. It's an older lady, and she's lived her life. She's very knowledgeable, you can tell. Yeah. And
most of them are.
She's pretty much, from what I gather, just from the few episodes that I listened, she's pretty much a ordained speaker. So she...
Like a priest?
No, me being in the weddings, you always think it's the priest that does that, but it's not always the priest.
Oh, all right.
Sometimes they hire somebody outside to come in and do their speech. Or so she does things, at all types of things, funerals.
Like somebody who shops for somebody else, she speaks for people.
Yeah,
nice.
She's basically the one that gets you wedded or whatever your event is. Okay, I know quite a few.
An
of
event
them.
planner, I guess, maybe.
No, the event planner is the one that puts the whole shindig together.
All right,
these ones they just basically hire to come in to do the speaking. And they tend to usually be a guest at the events as well,
Oh yeah, you got to give them.
So I got to know quite a few of them, and
all right.
Usually for some odd reason, I don't know if it's an odd reason or just the type of people they are, but they're always the nicest people, down to earth. It's awesome.
Usually.
So this lady, her ritual was called "Drink Your Words." Okay, so you come up with an array of words. Maybe you start with 7 bottles of water or 3 bottles of water, or however to the extent you end up with 3 bottles of water at the end. So you can start with 7, or you can just start with the 3.
Okay.
You pick 3 words that actually mean something to you at this point in time in life.
Okay.
It could be anything from. She said stay away from stuff like exhausting and stuff like that, because what you're basically essentially going to do is you're going to drink these words to the point where you feel them in your bones, you feel them in your spirit, you know what I mean?
Okay.
It might be a little far-fetched for some, but if you're down to try this, she said this is a great thing to do with your kids. Remember how we were talking earlier?
A different way to, what is it, affirmations, or write affirmations, or for whatever affirmations.
Yeah, exactly. But she was saying this is a good thing that you can do with your children as well as, on your own. So you take these 3 bottles of words, or 3 bottles of water, and you take these 3 words that you've chosen.
Okay.
Happy. It could be anything. Hardworking. Whatever word attaches to you that really sits in and you want to digest it. So you put these 3 words on these bottles of water. And
Okay.
You put them somewhere every morning so that when you walk by, you read those words.
Okay, I like that.
You beat that word into your head daily for like a month.
All right.
Then it gets to the point where you come to terms like, I know the meaning in this word. This word means everything to me. You crack open that bottle of water and you drink your words. So basically every time you take a sip from this bottle of water, you think of that word again. You think it more. Don't chug, just sip. Just sip periodically through the day. And every time you pick up that bottle, read that word.
There you go.
Read that word. It's a ritual.
Yeah,
and that's the only reason I found it very interesting. Not that I'm gonna do this, but it might just shine some light on some others out there to.
It's like Scrooge McDuck and Ducktales used to swim through his money.
Yeah, you got it.
I like that.
All right, so on to our next segment. Choose your destiny. This week we're gonna implement a little fun into this segment. We're all about having fun over here.
That's right.
It doesn't have to be straight shooting or just all about success, but today your destiny will either be A, B, or C. We're going to go with trilogies of movies. You can only pick one. The other 2 go away forever out of existence.
Oh, am I keeping these or?
You're keeping the one that you choose.
Okay.
And the other 2
Everything
go
else
in the garbage.
All right.
They never happened.
Okay.
All right. For the rest of your life, you'll be able to watch one of these 3 trilogies. Okay.
Okay.
A, we've got The Matrix.
All right.
It's a good one, right?
Yeah. No. They're supposed to be doing. I hear that.
Part 4.
Yeah.
So I got that in before they made it a.
There you go.
What do you call a 4-sequence movie? I don't even know.
I don't think they have a word for it.
All right, B. I know they have one for 5. It's like an anthology or something like that. Which was that bar you used to work at? Didn't you used to?
Yeah, I did.
Security over at
I did
anthology?
security.
Yeah.
All
right. So A, Matrix.
Yep.
B, Indiana Jones.
Okay.
C, Star Wars.
Oh, this is easy. Simple. So, Indiana Jones.
See, I wouldn't.
Indiana Jones. And I'll tell you why. Matrix. I mean, it was a great movie. Don't get me wrong. Great movie. But all that really did is just let you know is everything you think is real is fake.
Yeah.
And something else is taking over.
I mean, it was cool.
It was cool, but I mean, that was it.
I watched.
Your life.
To be honest with you, I don't even think I still got the end. I mean, I understood what the movies were trying to tell you, but I think I watched them more for the scenes, like the
for the fight. That's what I watched.
Yeah, and Mr. Smith and all that stuff. So A was an easy scratch for me as well.
Star Wars. Yeah, you can. It's only good to watch a couple times. I'm sorry, it's not Lord of the Rings. I'm sorry. No, it's boring after a bit. Indiana Jones, however, Indiana Jones to me, in my opinion, and probably is almost like Goodfellas. Whenever it's on, you stop and you watch it. Yeah. Most people, if they start on Star Wars, they got to go through the whole thing. It's one of those. Matrix.
You're right.
Indiana Jones, you watch the first one. I could watch the second one and the third one after that. It's just like Goodfellas. Right. Every time it's on, it's just something about... Harrison Ford was a commanding presence. He commanded more than Neo. Neo, yeah, you could watch him. Most people watch him because they think he's either hot or they like the action. But Indiana Jones, he just had that. I know what I'm doing.
I'm a badass.
I'm gonna mess you up. Don't hurt
snakes.
Don't hurt the kids.
Except for snakes.
Yeah, the snakes. But I used to love it. Well, like what was it? Temple of Doom. And the one dude, the big dude's hitting a kid, and next thing you know, everybody just stops and he turns. And there's Indian. And he's just like,
all I ever think of is the big ball chasing him, like that whole scene when he's in that cart. I always wanted to ride in that gold mining cart, like a roller coaster.
Did you see the 4th one?
They made a 4th one.
The Crystal of the Skull. Crystal. Oh my God, it's got his son.
Yeah,
and the girl from the first one. It's
Shia
great.
LaBeouf, right?
Yes,
I did see it.
Oh my God, it was great.
I forgot that there was a 4th one. All right, so Star Wars out, Matrix out, Indiana Jones.
Yep.
If you guys want to join in on the fun, like our Facebook page. I can post I'll post a poll, and we'll see what the majority will roll with on that one.
Like us, follow us, tell your friends.
So that's it for the Choose Your Destiny segment. All right.
Here we go.
We're going to go on to our next segment, which I know a lot of you guys out there I talk to in the podcast world, the podcast support groups, actually enjoyed the thought and the idea I put behind this. And basically, it's just giving a shout out to other podcasters.
Yes.
Because we like to see people flourish. We like to lift
do.
people up. That's what we're about on this podcast.
Yep.
And that's what we're going to do. So I got about 6 or 7 of them. I'm not going to go into crazy detail. I'll read some of the commenting that they left, but I won't go into it all. So the first one we have is Life-tastic Us. All right. So let's see. We are a young couple that is jumping the hurdles and dodging the obstacles of life while blending our families. Our podcast is full of relatable stories about our life's journeys, as well as take on anybody and everything else that you can think of. All right. So
Nice.
they are on Anchor.
Thank you, Life-tastic Us.
Yes, thank you, Life-tastic Us, and we look forward to watching your podcast, and I hope you reciprocate and give ours a shot.
Yeah.
And most definitely you'll hear your shout out if anything. All right, on to the next one. We have Sonny's Pillar of Success.
Sonny or Sonai?
Sonai.
Sonai. Sorry about that. Sonai.
Yeah. Don't shoot the messenger. It's quite the task to read names that you're not familiar with, as many people can. Oh, it is. And being in the wedding industry, it's an anxiety of mine when you got to call out all the names and get everybody loaded up, and you work on not calling them the right, calling the wrong name.
Or with if the accent's thick, I tell the people, you got to give me 10 minutes. I got to talk to you, then I can get what you're saying. Don't just
So shout out to Sonai.
Yes.
Pillars of Success on Apple Podcasts.
Nice.
All right, next we have Phantom Galaxy. PhantomGalaxy.podbean.com. I am the co-host of Phantom Galaxy, a sci-fi horror fantasy podcast where we talk movies, books, TV shows, music, animation, and much more.
Cool.
We are interactive, non-judgmental,
Nice.
and is for anyone who enjoys fun conversation about the other side of entertainment. All right, Bill, we'll check that out. You might not be too happy with the guy next to me, as he ousted Star Wars and Matrix for Indiana Jones.
Yeah, but Lord of the Rings, Harry Potter.
Yeah, I could have chose a bunch of them. Those are the ones I chose, and you chose your destiny.
That's right.
All right. So up next we have another sci-fi, Greg, with Sci-Fi Tales from the Galactical Coffee Shop.
You mean Galactic?
Oh,
See,
Galactic.
He's got dyslexia. It's all right.
It's all right. We all have our problems, right? All right. So he does a variety of sci-fi content. We're mainly sci-fi horror-related stories.
Nice.
We would love for you to check it out.
Sci-fi is good stuff.
And that we will, Greg. We will check you out. I watch sci-fi stuff all the time.
That new one, Star Trek Discovery. It's, as far as sci-fi,
Yep.
it's got some good stuff going in there.
All
that I'm looking into.
next one we have is the Reading Rainbow, and it's not the Reading Rainbow from WXXI back in the day.
Okay.
You may be wondering what this podcast is.
I was forced to watch that show. I hated it.
All right, he's got something. You may be wondering, what is this podcast even like? Have you ever had a friend convince you to pee on an electric fence, but nothing even happens? So the stupid ones decide to just pee on you. Then within seconds, all of you and your friends are laughing and peeing on each other. Sounds like a good time there. If you're R. Kelly. James, we'll check that out. You're on buzzsprout.com. Reading Rainbow. Shout out to you. All right. We have I Am a Fan podcast. Augustine Rivera. He seems like a motivational speaker.
We have to check them out too.
Yep. He says check our page for links. I did, and that is on Anchor as well. So shout out. I am a fan of podcasts on Anchor. So the last two, I had a little bit of interaction with in the messengers and the DMs. No Interruptions by Tab. I'm sorry if I butcher your name. Tab Obinu. No Interruptions is on anchor.com.
Okay.
Or anchor.fm. I'm sorry. And then we have Beyond the Classroom by Onai Linda. I've been in the DMs quite a bit with her. She's just looking for, she wanted me to reflect back if I listened and to review her podcast.
Okay.
It's called Beyond the Classroom. It's basically reading books and poems, and she puts her input on the art and what she pulls away, kind of what we do with our quotes.
Okay.
So shout out to all you guys.
Yes.
We wish nothing but success for you all. And we've come to the final segment where I just basically say a quote every week, and he picks up the next week's podcast by explaining and breaking down what his thoughts on the quote were. So this week we have Aristotle. We are what we do. We are what we repeatedly do. Excellence then is now not an act but a habit. We are what we repeatedly do. Excellence then is not an act but a habit. So there you have it.
There you have it.
There you have it.
Make it a habit.
That's Forge.
Yeah.
Episode
this
9.
week. Yep.
You can check us out on YouTube,
Yeah.
Spotify, Anchor, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts. I'm going to have to get a running list because I can't remember them all.
Just write it all down.
You can find us on multiple platforms.
Yes.
I hope you guys had some thought-provoking content today. I think they can.
I hope we reached into your minds.
Yeah, and I hope you guys will lift yourself up this week and aim for those goals. And we will see you next week.
Yes, we will.
Peace. Yeah.